There are 5 scenes every romance novel must have, and I'm going to use them all to plot my next bestseller. Now, yesterday I talked about the first thing that I think all romances must have, and that's to give your characters empathy. I'm doing a flipped retelling of The Little Mermaid with Ursula as the heroine. I'm in my villainous era. I determined that Prince Eric, the hero, he is going to have irresponsible parents, and he's basically taken on the charge of leading the kingdom. Ursula, I'm building out her backstory. I know that she was rejected by her family. If you remember in the cartoon, in the live action, and King Trident was her brother. And I think that both her father and her brother, I'm going to make them misogynist, and they never listened to her. And even though she was right most of the time, and they basically kicked her out and threw away her right to the throne. So now that I've got readers caring about these characters, having empathy for them, now I have to do the second necessary scene in a romance novel, which is make them meet and try to make it cute. So now it's time to plan for the meet cute. I do have this tool to help romance authors to figure out their meet cutes. This is the Romance Roadmap. And in here, I have determined, with help from film scholars, that there are 4 types of attraction when you're doing a meet cute. There's the pull-pull, where the characters are instantly attracted. There's the push-push, where they are mutually disinterested. There's push-pull, where one is interested and the other is not interested. And then there's neutral nervous, where one is kind of awkward and the other character is kind of oblivious. And then there's also different situations that the meet cute can happen in. I think there's heroic situations where there's a rescue. There's embarrassing situations, which usually happens in a rom-com. There's insta-love, where it's fated mates. And there's adversarial, where they're at each other's throats. These really help me to determine more on how to craft my meet cutes. And I think I'm going to try 2 meet cutes again in this book, because if I'm looking back at the original content, there's a shipwreck when Ariel and the prince meet, but I think I'm gonna have the shipwreck be Ursula's fault, and it's gonna come back in the end to bite her in the butt when she realizes that she's in love with this prince. I'm not sure how yet. I don't have to know how yet. I just have to make these guardrails for myself, and then I basically start to write it, and I figure it out as I write it. That's why I call myself a plotter who pants, because I don't have all the answers when I'm getting started. I think the second meet cute, I'm still trying to figure that out, because when in the first meet cute, there's usually, especially in a paranormal or fantasy, there's some kind of sparks where they get the inkling. But then I want to have in the second meet cute for it to knock them over their head, and I'm still trying to figure that out. That's what I'm going to be figuring out today, and tomorrow I'll tell you guys what the third most important scene in a romance novel is.